In 2024, we traveled Route 66 end to end, and from that, we produced 8 episodes. This year, in 2026, our country turns 250, and historic Route 66 turns 100. What better reason than to pack up and travel the Mother Road one more time? The focus this time, though, is to stay at a few vintage motels, some of those vintage gas stations, and enjoy that two-lane earlier roads were possible from the 1920s and 30s. There's so much to see. Therefore, we're going to skip some highlights we saw last time, so you can always look back at our 8 series, just look at those. Spend some time on less visited or revisit some of our favorite spots. Even after 2 trips on Route 66, we'll still not touch it all. And that's the beauty that with each trip you see and experience more each time. I hope from this second series you'll get a sense for what it feels like to travel away from the interstates that once connected friends and families and fall back into time along Route 66. I'm Bryant, and we're the Wandering Buckeyes. Traveling from our home in Cincinnati, I'm now closing in on downtown Chicago to pick up the start of Route 66 and begin the drive across America's iconic highway. End-to-end mileage varies depending upon which alignments you take. More on that later. But the unofficial count is 2,448 miles, with the midpoint in Adrian, Texas. Parking can be expensive in Chicago, so I prepaid my parking at the Grant South Park for under $13 that otherwise would cost me $40 for a drive-up rate just for a couple of hours. And it puts me within 1 block from the start of the Route 66 for photos. Well, here's the famous Killen's ice cream, but it's early Sunday morning and they're not quite open yet. The local vibe is great, live music plays in the background, and the sign marking the start of Route 66. And here we see 1 block onto Route 66 is a more artistic start sign, but it's time to get on the road. We've barely started, and we're already seeing establishment from the past. Birdhouse Restaurant up on the left. I'll stop for a few photos. On the right is St. Patrick's Church that predates the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. It's early afternoon, so I decided to stop in to Henry's on West Ogden. They say it's a meal in itself, and they weren't kidding. A full order of fries on top of everything else they pile on. It was delicious. We'll keep an eye on these brown signs like we see on the right. Illinois Route 66 signage I found is the best. McCook Route 66 sign reminds me of the vintage Las Vegas sign. The Steak and Egger here in McCook, Illinois has great food. Ate here a couple years ago. They opened for business in 1955. I'm still full from Henry's, but we'll stop here at the White Fence Farm to look around. It's been a local tradition since 1954 and known for their fried chicken. I can tell you the smells are incredible as I walked about. Coming into Joliet, Illinois, I see the Rich and Creamy coming into view on the left. I think I can manage a small twist cone about right now. So we're here at the Rich and Creamy in Joliet, Illinois. I love ice cream, but unfortunately, the Rich and Creamy is closed for the season. Come back next time. The Ruby Street Bridge, built in 1935, takes us over the Des Plaines River, an iconic movable bridge that still accommodates water traffic. Joliet is home to the Joliet prison seen in the movie The Blues Brothers. However, we're stopping at the first Dairy Queen that opened in 1940. 2 weeks after my stop here, the local historical group mounted replica signs and served ice cream from the original Dairy Queen. Well, we dropped into the Joliet Route 66 Welcome Center. This is a must-stop to learn what all Illinois has to offer on Route 66. first 100 miles. Leaving Joliet now, we're on 4 lanes in the countryside following historic Route 66, known today here as Illinois 53, that leads us into Elwood. It's been said that there are nearly 85% of Route 66 drivable today. Officially, the highway was decertified in 1985 and no longer exists as a U.S. highway. Here in Elwood, we see Jake and Elwood from the Blues Brothers. While not named after Elwood, Illinois, his silver screen character's name instead came from the Elwood Ordnance Plant that supplied TNT and grenades during World War II, and is located near Elwood, but is now closed. Following recent street renovations, a narrow segment of the original 1920s concrete road was unearthed and bordered with brick accents you see before us. It's fun to think how many traveled this road over the past 100 years. On the right, we see the Eagle Hotel Inn, that originally served as a riverboat and stagecoach stop. Gemini Giant is a variation of the Muffler Man figures that gained popularity through the 1960s and is on display here. And nearby is the landing pad, the visitor center, and souvenir shop. Both of these are all located on the South Island Park. Driving Route 66 feels like a really long Sunday afternoon drive. There are 8 states that make up Route 66: Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and of course California. Arriving in Braidwood, Illinois, this will be my stop for the night. A quick dinner at the Polka Dot Drive-In. It's been in business since 1956 and still has that 1950s feel about the place, taking me back in time. After dinner, I check into the Braidwood Motel across the tracks from the drive-in. Ironically, across town in Braidwood is the Sun Motel, otherwise known as the Braidwood Inn in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. An early start with breakfast at the gold mine. I suppose this is the mother lode. Ate it up and on my way for day 2. Here in Gardner is the shop on Route 66. It's closed till 10 a.m., so I just took a look around. Driving along here, we see the present with Interstate 55 on my right and the past, Route 66 in front. Then later, we flip over with the older Route 66 on the right abandoned that we see, and the current Route 66 in front. As your eyes is trained on the past, it becomes easier to spot these pieces of historic road in their battle against Mother Nature, reclaiming what was hers. Arriving at Ambler's Texaco gas station was built in the 1930s and one of the more popular stops. Imagine yourself pulling in to fill up and check the oil here. These push pins in the various maps highlight the cities where current-day roadies stop to visit.
63 to 65% of our total traffic from here the last 3 years.
Oh, wow.
In the thousands.
Yeah.
Not hundreds.
This street is really worth mentioning. From 1926 to 1946, traffic was so congested, they built an underground passage, seen on the left, for churchgoers and schoolchildren to safely cross. In 1932, land was purchased by Patrick O'Donnell in Odell, Illinois, where he built a gas station based on the 1916 Standard Oil of Ohio design. This station sold gasoline until the 1960s and was brought back to its glory days by the Illinois Route 66 Association. Coke machine. I made a new friend from Venice, Italy while here. It was extremely windy, so hopefully some of this comes through as we chatted.
On a bicycle, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm fighting against the wind. It's quite strong.
Right.
You can see the flag down there, but I'm going in the opposite direction, so it's
If you were
quite
going the
hard.
other way, you know,
It was easier.
you'd pass the trucks.
Yeah, but I guess that the wind will change in the next days. So yeah, but they told me, I was told that the storm is in Kansas right now, so it's a long way to go down there.
So how long did it take you to go from Chicago to where we are in Odell, Illinois?
Now 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's 200 and something kilometers.
Yeah.
It's not so long.
So any electrical assistance? It's all
No, I have no
all-
electrical system.
Yeah.
It's just a muscular bike. And I have a solar panel
I see.
over there.
Oh, okay.
To charge my power bank, my phone, and my GPS.
So you were saying how the differences is in U.S. and Italy.
And we have a different
your high school-
relation.
so
We have
your
a
high
different
school-
relationship with history. And my school was 900 years old,
Wow.
and the Route 66 is just 100
100.
years old.
Well, my newfound friend will wait out the storm on his bicycle while I head further south in Illinois and into another storm. Arriving in Pontiac, the large building up on the right houses the War Museum, Route 66 Association of Illinois, and an awesome Route 66 museum. It also has Bob Waldmere's road yacht he drove countless times across Route 66 and lots of murals. At time of our passing, this area was under heavy construction or some renovation, it appears. Here's a few photos from our last trip. It is a must stop if you have the time. I love these vintage bridges with white globe streetlights. We're stopping at the decommissioned Illinois State Police Headquarters, District 63. Built in 1941 and located right next to Route 66, which carried more traffic than any highway of its time then. The building, when seen from the air, is in the shape of a Derringer pistol. How about that? Standalone gas stations in the 30s and 40s were simple, a couple pumps with a small building attached. In Normal, Illinois, the Sprague gas station that was built around 1931 was, well, not normal. It was a superstation with several pumps, a service station, restaurant, a garage, plus 2 second-story apartments for the owner and attendant. Since 1926, when Route 66 began, there evolved different alignments as cities grew. Those who watched our first series in 2024 may notice we traveled different parts of Route 66, or alignments as they're known. It is because of that we'll see stops we'll miss in the first series and skip some in this series. There is so much to see on this historic highway, it is a lot to take in on this 2-week trip. Out of the city once again we come into Funk's Grove, settled by Isaac Funk, and known to us as a stop for maple syrup, spelled with an I. We're here in Funk's Grove, where we got maple syrup a couple years ago, Kevin and I.
This one I got.
Hello.
Thank you. 62. Did you need a receipt for that? Okay. I bought the last chocolate one. Oh, okay. I might buy some. There's one maple syrup. A lot of it.
Buy one of each. Try the maple ice cream. And just a print one, yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully this will show up pretty good. So we just stopped at Funk's in here with the maple syrup, spelled with an I, S-I-R-U-P. We're going to try their maple ice cream. So, yeah, let's take a look at that. So, fresh made, no napkins. So, watch out, Steph, no napkins. Let's see how this tastes. Wow. You can really taste that maple in there. Mmm. And nuts. Walnuts. I like a good walnut ice cream. This is delicious. For HO and other scale model trains, the McLean Depot train is a must-see. Built in the mid-1850s and then later moved from its original location along the tracks in 1970. It's still operating as a toy shop here, but closed today. As we travel through Illinois, we'll see different alignments of the route, some from the 30s and 40s and later. On this corner in Atlanta, Illinois is the 1926 alignment Route 66 and home to the American Giants Museum. The Muffler Men were produced in the 1960s by International Fiberglass Company, once located in Venice, California. Okay.
Thank you.
What's your place called?
Giants Route 66 stop.
Giants Route 66, okay.
I have my dually parked there, and it's got big wheels on it.
Right.
You know, it's kind of fancy looking. Well, I would have never thought in the whole world people would be taking photographs with it and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all the people from across seas, I guess they don't have them big trucks like that, so everybody that you know that, well, anybody that takes a picture with it, you know it's from across seas. Hey, sometime. So, yeah, he's bringing me a big Clydesdale horse.
Really?
And a bucking thing. Yeah. Over there, we're doing international fiberglass.
The Blue Mill here, built in 1926, had a Dutch theme along what was Route 4 original and later became Route 66. In 1945, it would turn into the Mill Restaurant and known by the locals as the home of the schnitzel. Today it is the Mill Museum, and we're going to take a look inside.
That is an original sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which one of these?
Oh, look at that.
You don't see it now. We're doing
Oh, look
one
at
of
it lit
these.
up. That's neat.
Well, guess what?
What? Yep.
That's gonna happen again.
Oh, will it? Oh, that's
I
neat.
wrote a Route 66 grant and asked for the windmill to come back, because it had
Did it
come
move?
back. It only came back because the fire destroyed it.
Oh, I see.
And so they built a new one, but it was just, they built the windmill. Didn't do anything.
Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay.
So I got a grant. I wrote a grant and got the grant for not only putting the lights back on it, but getting it to rotate.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So, yeah. We're gonna have an open house for it. But yeah, here's the
The old Coke machines. Pull out your bottle of Coke. Used to have a little thing here on the side if you put your empty Coke bottles in once you were done. There are so many alignments that cause us to use a special navigation app to choose which we'll follow. Mostly the larger cities like Springfield here, where we're entering, now due to their growth, Route 66 had to be realigned as the city grew. With the smaller towns, we'll have the more earlier alignments through the 1920s and 30s. We'll try to follow them the best we know. For me personally, the Illinois State Fairgrounds we'll see next is the best exhibit with what they call the Route 66 experience. And you'll soon see why, as you can literally walk through the Illinois portion of the Route 66 in a scaled down walkable version. Come at night like we did, and you'll see the neon light up, which is equally spectacular.
Route 66. Route 66, Highway 1955. Cadillac Coupe de Ville just came alive. Top down, wind in my hair. Elvis playing on the radio everywhere.
Diner stop for burger and shake. Jukebox playing Johnny Cash all day.
Neon signs pointing west.
I'm chasing the sunset.
Doing my best.
No GPS.
No map app, just a paper map.
And a full gas tank.
No schedule, no plan.
Just drive till the end of the land. Oh, let's ride. Route 66 trip, 1955, open sky. Every mile feels like a perfect high guitar twang. Engine sing.
We don't need anything.
Route 66, no mix. All the good vibes are coming thick. No rush, no plans, just open land.
Route 66, Wonderland.
Route 66 trip, 1955, open sky. Every mile feels like a perfect high guitar twang. Engine sing.
We don't need anything.
Route 66, no mix. All the good vibes are coming thick. No rush, no plans, just open land.
Route 66, Wonderland. Next stop, California.
Time for lunch, and where else but the Cozy Dog, located along the south side of Springfield, known for its corn dogs since 1946. During my research, I learned that just south of Springfield is a 1920s and 30s section of Route 66 that is submerged under Lake Springfield after the Sugar Creek was dammed in 1933. In front of us is that same alignment just south of the lake, high and dry and still drivable today. I intended to remain on earlier alignments best I could. However, I found out later that we missed Auburn and cities south of there on the 1926 alignment. The app we use has some glitches, and not knowing the area well, I didn't figure it out until we were in Litchfield, that we'll see next. Passing the Route 66 drive-in, it's more pouring rain and put a damper on things, so it's time to head to the hotel and end this for night 2. In between vintage hotels, I opt for those near fuel stations, restaurants, and maybe have a free breakfast to start my next morning. Next morning, I was up driving on the 1930s and 40s alignment, passing the Artisan Cafe, the museum on the left, and Jubat's Bakery on the right that we visited in 2024. This is an oldie, the Belvedere Cafe, Motel, and Gas Station from 1936. It's now closed, except for I hear these motel rooms are now rented out as apartments to the left of the cafe. Soulsby Service Station in Mount Olive opened in 1926 and operates today as a free museum and visitor center. It was a self-guided tour as no one was around. I love this small-time charm. These vintage cans. I can remember when we used to have oil in these. Now this is interesting. When I was a kid, I used to sell grit to make extra money. Some more shell signs. It's pretty cool they were able to preserve a lot of these signs. I'll show the whole thing here. So here's the whole thing. You put the can right down here. You push that. Opens it up. They used to do service on cars with. A tree growed up between it, and you have what you see here. Henry's Rabbit Ranch was full of old Volkswagen rabbits, some planted in the ground, similar to the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, we'll see later. Closed, so I did a quick self-tour outside, took some photos, then on my way. This was a fun stop here at the Pink Elephant Antiques, and there was plenty of antiques, let me tell you. Blues Brothers for the Blues Review. I got my shoes a good washing several times today. Traveling along the historic road, we pass vintage cars all the time like these, and it never gets old. Just for a moment, you feel like you went back in time. My second trip through Illinois on Route 66. Still, there was more to see and missed unintentionally or by design to stay on track with an end date in California. We're entering now into Missouri across the McKinley Bridge that opened in 1910, carrying Route 66 travelers for years. Well, this wraps up the Illinois section of Route 66. Join us in the next one where we explore Missouri.